Let's talk about some ways that you can hold a pencil and how it will affect the result on the page. If you can, work with pencils that are longer. Obviously, over time, they will become shorter and shorter, and if they become obnoxiously short, I recommend using a pencil extender. I will show it to you shortly. For now, I will demonstrate ways to hold a pencil on a pretty much brand new pencil. One way to hold a pencil, and this is something that you will see me doing a lot in my videos, is holding it right in the middle in an underhanded fashion. So very much like a pen, but up in the middle of the actual pencil, not close to the tip. Why is this such a good way of holding a pencil? This allows minimal pressure. It's not the most stable way to create line work, but if you're working with shading, the further back you hold your pencil, the less pressure you're actually physically applying to the page. So if you're heavy-handed and you know that you're heavy-handed, you're struggling with that, I recommend try holding your pencil a little bit further back, and you will naturally create smoother, softer gradient transitions and shading effects. How far back you hold your pencil can also determine the angle of attack of your pencil against the paper. The overhead method. You can hold your pencil over the top, and let's see what happens if we change one more variable, if we hold it close to the tip. This is a very classic way of holding your tool, but I would say it's more traditional for charcoal and graphite work, for freehand sketching and that really rough on-the-spot shading. For precise pencil work, especially colored pencil work, I rarely use this technique. But again, try it out. Maybe it's more comfortable for you to hold it this way. Holding your pencil closer to the tip will also give you more control. So if you're filling in an area that needs to be done very precisely, yet you're working with shading, this is the way to hold it. Hold it close to the tip and overhand. Now let's see what happens when we slide our fingers further back. Still overhand, but holding it in the middle or even further back. I use this method mainly with charcoals and graphite. I never use it with colored pencils. But once again, if you're heavy-handed, this will allow even less pressure potential than the first method. So it's something to try out. If you're enjoying this little lesson, you'll be pleased to learn that it's actually part of an entire course consisting of 66 video lessons. The course is called How to Use Colored Pencils Like a Pro, and it's part of my own personal art academy called It's Easy to Draw. I'm going to drop a link to the academy and to the course in the pinned comment below and also in the video description. So go check it out. There's a lot more to learn, and I hope to see you in class. Now, a lot of people hold their pencil like this. They hold it like a pen, very close to the tip and very vertical against the page. This is a no-no in colored pencil work. Why is that? Holding your pencil almost vertically naturally applies way too much pressure to the paper, and we never want to mush the texture of the paper. We'll talk about that more in the lessons to come. Never ever brandish your page texture. The other thing to consider is the amount of control that you have. It seems that the closer to the tip you hold your pencil, the more control you have. And that's true if you have a nice slant to your paper against the page. But when it's vertical and you're holding it by the tip, you don't have that much control at all. This is the doodle hold. That's how kids hold their pencils and create really rough doodles. And finally, holding your pencil this way actually blocks what you're drawing or coloring from yourself. You can't see past your hand what's happening on the page. So if you catch yourself doing this, holding your pencil vertically and really close to the tip, try to correct that. The first step to correct it is slide your hand a little bit further back on the pencil and then decide if you want to go underhand or overhand. Now, what happens if your pencil is so tiny you have to hold it by the tip? Try your best to work with it. As long as you create that slant, it will work better even if you have to hold it close to the tip. But ultimately, if you really want to preserve that pencil and you're not ready to move on to the next one, you'll have to get a pencil extender. I keep a pencil extender in my studio and it buys me a few minutes with that pencil. It may or may not be worth the purchase. Some people, when they get down to the size of a pencil, they just throw them away. I like having the extender because when the pencil is so short, it actually becomes difficult on the hand muscles to work with it. So having the extender allows me to hold it further back like I used to when it was a fully grown pencil. But honestly, when they're that short, you can't buy them that much time because they get so short you can't even put them through a pencil sharpener anymore. So the only advantage to using an extender is to get a better grip on your pencil. And finally, this is a shading method that I use quite a bit in my own work. This is my fast shading technique, and the way that it works is I hold my pencil further than halfway back and I tap, tap, tap on it as I go along. And this creates a lightning fast shading technique. I use it for backgrounds and for underpainting, not for detailed work. So try these out and see what suits your hand better. Remember that this is a tool as well. You have a whole set of little muscles in there that probably haven't ever been used before or haven't been exercised properly. Either one of these methods with a little check mark on them will be your method. And generally, you won't have just one. You'll notice that as you're working on different parts of your composition, your hold method will change accordingly. So if you're doing rough shading on the background, you will hold it one way. If you're doing tiny details on the face, you will hold it another way. Once again, it's all very personal. So remember that this is just a tiny part of an entire course on how to use colored pencils like a pro. So if you want to learn all about colored pencils as a medium and to create amazing, beautiful art like this, follow the link, check out the full course, and I hope to see you in class. If you enjoyed this little fragment of the course, please remember to give it the thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more of these moments of brilliance and entertainment and education. And drop me a comment if you have any thoughts, questions, or suggestions. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.